Good morning. It's Wednesday, the 23rd of September. It's a nice autumn day. I'm a little bit tired. This week has been unusual, I guess. We had Sunday services. This week was an outdoor service and a parking lot picnic, which was well attended and with keeping within the bounds of our COVID-19 restrictions. We had a great time, great turnout, a lot of fun, a lot of food. It was nice for people to be able to get together, even if they were socially distanced. But then Monday and Tuesday were Requiem Eucharist. On Monday for Jean Sherwood, and then on Tuesday for Sally Atwater. And funeral services take a lot out of you. It's not only just the fact that you're physically celebrating the Eucharist and doing the burial office, but there's an emotional drain and strain as well of dealing with grief and families, but that goes with the territory sometimes. In a few minutes, I have my regular Wednesday Eucharist at noon. There's still time to get in your car and get down and join us if you want to, but again, they are fun, but they do require a certain amount of psychic energy. Sometimes I think our psychic energy is running a little low, not just because, in my case, of multiple services in a row without any break, but just the whole tenor of life these days seems to kind of drain us. It seems to suck the life out of us. I'm one of those people that's, kind of given up looking too closely at social media, and I really hesitate turning on the evening news because I just what's going on, the drama and everything just kind of pulls the life out of you. It's draining and all that. But life does that to us sometimes. It kind of pulls us down. We feel like our reserves are being depleted, and we're curious as to how we can overcome that and how we can rise up again and deal with this. How do we get our energy back? How do we restore where we used to be? How do we find our place in the world? How do we regain what we think we've lost at some point? Well, we look for it in a lot of ways. I've noticed people these days seem to be a lot more mad at the world or at people in it. We don't have there seems to be a lot of division that goes on, and we wonder how to overcome that. And it was interesting. I was listening to part of the funeral service this morning at the Supreme Court building of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And at one point, the Chief Justice, John Roberts, was talking about a picture that they have of Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. I think it was Scalia. And evidently, and the picture was of the both of them riding an elephant in India a few years ago and having a good time. And as Chief Justice Roberts points out, these two people were close friends. They enjoyed each other's company. They were obviously on opposite sides of the arguments in many issues coming before the Supreme Court, totally opposite sides. And yet, they were friends. They could disagree and maintain their friendly and cordial relationship with each other. They liked each other as people, even though they had different viewpoints of the world. And sometimes I think that because we think we disagree with somebody, on different viewpoints, or if we disagree politically, that we can't be friends, that we can't like each other. And I don't know where that got started. I'm not sure it's a we, they anymore. It should be us, looking for solutions, looking for ways to overcome the problems that we confront in the world. But it seems like we're just being sucked dry by so many things, whether it's issues of civil rights or racial reconciliation or Black Lives Matter, whether or not it's issues over whether, about absentee ballots or mail-in voting and all of that. Issues about whether or not we will have a useful antivirus vaccine by such and such a date, near or sooner or later. And we kind of argue back and forth over that. I've given up watching the arguments over the selection and confirmation of the next Supreme Court justice. I have no input into that, so I have to stay away from it and watch it. But nevertheless, we sometimes feel like we're being dragged down. We're being sucked dry by all of this, and that we're looking for some rest. We're looking for some refreshment. We're looking for some energy, if you will, some reinvigoration of our lives, a way to find a new center, to find a new focus, to discover what we used to have and want back again. Well, I think that the answer does sit in front of us, if you will. I think that those of us who are people of faith sometimes forget that this is what God wants for us. He wants us to be energized. He wants us to be filled with life, to be outgoing, to embrace each other in love and friendship, to have our lives overflowing, if you will. In one of the Gospels, it talks about God's blessings being poured into our lap, shaken down, pressed together, overflowing into us. But sometimes we are too tired to deal with this, and so realizing that a good afternoon nap may make us feel better physically, but what we're looking for is a renewal of our soul. We're looking for a regeneration of spirit. We're looking for to be uplifted inside, if you will. Some of my favorite verses on this come from the prophet Isaiah, and they're ones that I go back to frequently, and it's the words of Isaiah in the 40th chapter. And it says, don't you know, haven't you heard? The Lord is the everlasting God. He created all the world. He never grows tired or weary. No one understands his thoughts. He strengthens those who are weak and tired. Even those who are young grow weak. Young people can fall exhausted. But those who trust in the Lord for help will find their strength renewed. He will rise on the wings of eagles. They will run and not get tired. They will walk and not grow weak. God offers us new energy. He offers us a new sense of purpose. He offers us a strength that comes from within and comes from the Spirit. And he asks us to reach down and to find him in the center of our being. And once we find that center, once we find that Spirit lurking in this interior of who we are, then I think he's right that we can rise up on the wings of eagles. We can run and not be faint, walk and not be tired. We can confront life with energy. We can confront life and know that God working through us can overcome it. We can have that new strength restored in us, our batteries recharged, if you will, through the power of God. So, if you're feeling drained, drug out, worn out, stretched out, if you've kind of lost your center of power, if you have just feel exhausted emotionally and spiritually, then sit down and have a chat with God. And let God raise you up. Let God send you His strength and His power, knowing that He can take you by the hand and lift you up, and you can run and not be weary, and walk and not grow faint, that you may indeed rise up on the wings of eagles. So today I pray that each of us will soar, renewed in spirit, renewed in faith, renewed in hope. Hope you have a great day.